Hey Taurus, welcome to your weekly forecast for May 30th through June 3rd. This is for Taurus, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We do have a new moon coming in on the 30th, a new moon in Gemini. New moon is always an excellent time for setting intentions, for manifesting and calling things in. We're going to see what messages are coming up for you guys. You might stumble upon this video a few weeks from now, a few months from now, a few years from now. It's all good. You're going to find it whenever you're meant to hear the messages. Keep in mind this is a general reading for the collective. Not every single message is going to resonate, and that's okay. Take what does, leave what doesn't. And as always, you may need a private reading, my dears. All right, Taurus, let's get right on into it and see what's coming up for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising. And the first card that's coming up here for the Taurus collective is the Five of Wands. This can be a good thing. Five of Wands can oftentimes indicate some kind of conflict or struggle or competitiveness. Sometimes it can be an inner struggle inside of ourselves. As I said, the new moon is a time that we call in, we set intentions, we call things into our life. So Taurus, there might be something some of you are wanting, but maybe you're a little bit conflicted about it, maybe you're a little bit torn. In terms of career and self-employment, Five of Wands can be very positive in that we might notice people being very competitive with us or trying to kind of push us out of the way, and that means they're seeing you as credible competition, right? In self-employment, this could be other businesses or other providers noticing you, and they're feeling a little bit kind of like threatened by your presence, like your hat is in the ring, so to speak, when the Five of Wands comes up. So you may be noticing people being competitive with you, or maybe not being so nice to you, and you just kind of have to try to take it with a grain of salt and say, okay, I must be doing something right. I must be doing something good, that, you know, these people are feeling like they need to compete with me, or they're feeling like they need to discredit me. It's unfortunate, right? But you have to kind of look at it as, okay, well, then I must be doing a good job, or I must be getting attention, I must be getting noticed. But with the Five of Wands, there could be conflict, there could be competition here, as you're kicking off the week, or as you're coming into the week. There can be a competitiveness. I do feel a feeling in a sense here, Taurus, that somebody may feel hurt by you, and they may be approaching you about that. And for a lot of you, it could be something that you didn't even realize, or you didn't even like think about it. And so unfortunately, though, the energy that I feel is this isn't going to be something where you can just say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, what a terrible misunderstanding, and like try to fix it. I feel like this person just like they just want to argue. They're very upset, they're very angry. They're not coming to you with the energy of let's fix this, let's resolve this. It's like, you know, they want to argue, they want to fight. So what those of you who are in this situation, what you need to know is that this isn't something this other person is going to be willing to resolve, right? It's like now we have beef, and they're just going to keep emphasizing that and stressing that and repeating that. And so maybe just say your apologies if you feel like you want to apologize, or say whatever you feel you need to say, but you may have to disconnect from the situation, because if you keep holding on and if you keep thinking, okay, well, we're going to resolve this, this other person doesn't want to resolve it. They're angry. They have a beef now. Like, that's the feeling I'm getting with the Five of Wands here for some of you. So just know that, so that you're not going around and around in circles. I'm going to be honest here, and if you're a cross watcher, I may lose you here. You may hate me, and you may be like, unsubscribe, unfollow, I hate you, you're the worst. But I feel for some of you, this person is angry at you, Taurus, because uh, they thought that you were going to make their life easier in some way. They thought they were going to benefit from you in some way, and that didn't happen. And so now, like, they're upset. I feel like the ego is bruised here. Maybe thought that they were going to come in and they were going to be your buddy or your best friend, or that they were going to be all cute and you were going to be like all, turned on and taken by them, and you were just going to like take care of them. I feel in some way this person was expecting to be taken care of, and you didn't do that. And so, like, now they feel like, well, I gave you so much time, I gave you so much attention. They're feeling like they wasted their time because they didn't get what they thought they were going to get from you. And for some reason, I feel a vibe here of like wanting to be taken care of. And you're just like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that. um and they're upset. They're upset, like they don't want you to be happy now. It's not for all of you. For some of you it's more like the internal dialogue or competitiveness in like a career situation. But I just have to say what I'm feeling, and I'm feeling that vibe here for some of you. The next card that's coming up here for Taurus is the Fool. And the Fool is a major arcana card. Major arcana cards are always going to come up when we're at a significant new crossroads. We're in like a defining chapter in our life. It's a significant time. It's a significant turning point. And so when the major arcana cards come up, the things that we're dealing with, the things that we're experiencing are directly connected to what we came here to accomplish, what we came here to master. And we really can't fail as long as we keep moving forward. With the Fool card, we may be feeling called or guided to do something that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. Okay? And so they might be like, why are you doing this? It doesn't make sense. It's kind of crazy. I can't really see you doing that. I can't really imagine you doing that. But other people don't get to dictate who we are or how we live our life. That's for us to decide. The Fool card, it's a major arcana card, so it comes up to give us confirmation that yes, you're being guided in this direction. Yes, you're being told to take this leap of faith or to take this risk. But the Fool card also tells us look before you leap and try to go into this as prepared as possible. He has his little satchel of goods and things that he needs for the journey. He has the little umbrella here to try to soften the landing. He's looking before he jumps. He's not jumping head first. So even though we're taking a leap of faith, even though we may be taking a little bit of a gamble or a little bit of a risk, we want to go into it somewhat prepared as we can be, with some kind of a plan. And we want to aim here. We want to steer here. We want to look where we're going to land. So look before you jump, prepare as much as you can, and um, go in this new direction here with this Fool card. Some of you may be disconnecting from a situation because it's getting very intense or aggravating. Maybe you feel like the climate of where you are is getting intense and you're not wanting to be around it, or you're not wanting to be a part of a certain organization or group. You may be taking a leap of faith in a different direction because you might feel like there's conflict or chaos and you're like, I don't want to be about that. I don't want to be a part of that. So some of you may be choosing to go in a different direction. But the Fool card comes in with the energy and the feeling of like a leap of faith. The next card that's coming up here for Taurus is the Six of Cups. This can come up in a few different ways. It can be a reconciliation and somebody resurfacing from the past. That being said, it doesn't have to be an ex or a karmic partner. It can be a childhood friend, it could be an old coworker, it could be a family member you haven't talked to in a while. It could be somebody that maybe you met in the past, but like you just kind of met them, that was it. Like nothing really There's no history, there's like nothing that has happened, but just somebody that you met once before. They may be resurfacing or wanting to connect with you in some way. It doesn't have to be someone who ripped out your heart, or somebody that you have decided that you're closing the door to them. Sometimes when people see Six of Cups, that's what they think, and they're like, "No, I'm done with that person." It doesn't have to be that kind of a dynamic or that kind of a situation. Six of Cups can also be a return to innocence. It can be a return to innocence. It can be a very genuine, very sincere connection with a person. It can be nostalgia, like remembering your childhood, remembering your past. And so some of you are taking a leap in a direction that maybe you feel like your life is never going to be the same again, or you feel like it's taking you away from your childhood, or it's taking you away from the life that you knew. And there could be like a bittersweet feeling around this. And the Six of Cups says that all things are happening as they're meant to happen. Okay, things happen in cycles, things happen in stages. We move on because it's time to move on. And sometimes we remember things better than they actually were. And so the Six of Cups can sometimes come up to tell us, like, look, things happen the way that they were meant to happen. You may be feeling super nostalgic. You may be longing to go back to a previous situation, but you're remembering the thing better than it actually was. And it's okay to move on. It's okay to move forward. It's okay to embrace and to accept what is now. This is also a card that reminds us to be in the present moment. Mentally, if we're too stuck in the past, if like we get stuck in the past mentally and being in the past mentally, we can start to feel depressed. We can start to feel sad. So try to ground yourself, try to balance the trip down memory lane, try to balance the nostalgia with grounding yourself, with being in the present moment. Um, but some of you may be feeling like it's time to part ways from the past, or like a really significant chapter of your life is closing and now it's a new adventure. Now you're going in a new direction, and you may be met with opposition about this. There might be people who don't agree with what you're doing. Okay, here with this Five of Wands, there might be people who are like, what in the world are you doing? You're shaking things up. You're like going off and forgetting everybody. You just may be going in a direction that a lot of people didn't see coming, and you might not have a lot of support about the decision that you're about to make. But we have the Fool card here. So it's like you can't help it. Like you're feeling pulled, or you're feeling called to make this significant change in your life, even if it's not making sense to the people around you. The next card that's coming up for Taurus is the Strength card. This could be Leo energy. Okay, there could be a Leo coming into the mix. If you have a Leo placement, there could be a significant change or shift happening for you in that area of your life or in those houses. Now, this is a major arcana card. When I have the major arcana cards that come up in this way, a non-major arcana, major arcana, non-major arcana, major arcana, it tells me things might be a little roller coastery for you in this situation. So this is telling me things may be a bit of an emotional roller coaster for you, Taurus or Taurus placement people, in the week ahead, where there's really high points, you're really happy, you're really excited, and then there's these low points. It could be negative ego, it could be insecurities, fears, it could just be discouragement from the people around you, or not feeling like you're being supported in what you're doing. But there's going to be highs and lows in the week ahead, and you're just going to have to brace yourself and ride out those highs and lows. The Strength card comes in with a sense of vulnerability for me, because it's like we're going out into uncharted territory. We're going into a new direction. It may be very unfamiliar territory. And so the Strength card says, not only are you going to do well, you're going to conquer. You're going to really, really thrive. You're going out into the wilderness, and you're mastering it, you're conquering it. She has this great big lion at her feet. And so you're going to see how well you do. You're going to see yourself, you're going to absolutely thrive. But in the beginning, you're going out into the unknown, and that can be very scary, and it can make you feel very vulnerable. The strength card has with it the energy of commitment, stability, a sense of loyalty. And so these might be things as we're coming into the new moon energy. Some of you maybe are really wanting to manifest. Maybe you feel like people aren't loyal, people don't have your back, people don't like commit to you, or they're not there for you. And so I've said this in previous readings, every relationship that we have is a reflection of the relationship we have with ourselves. So Taurus, you may have people that aren't supporting you. They don't have your back. They don't like the direction you're going in, or they don't like what you're doing with your resources, and they want you to put your resources to benefit them. Like, people are not looking at your best interest. And so the strength card comes up sometimes to tell me you have to go into the uncharted territory. You have to break away from the circle, and you have to be loyal and committed to what you want, and sticking to that course, and sticking to getting what you want. When you do that on that path, you're going to start aligning with people who care about your feelings, who care about your ambitions, who are supportive, who do have your back, who are going to be loyal. But first, you have to be these things to yourself. You have to choose yourself, okay? You have to choose yourself. You have to be loyal and committed to yourself and to what you have in your heart, your dream, your ambition, your desire. You have to commit to that within yourself. That's the only way it's going to succeed. Okay, so some of you may feel like you're going into this uncharted territory, but it will bode well for you. It will be well for you. Also, in terms of connecting, right? I think of the strength card like she's got this great big lion at her feet. How did this happen? She didn't go to that lion and yell at it and challenge it to a fight and beat it into submission. It would have torn her to shreds. So I imagine she may have come across this lion and she respected it. She gave it its space. She had healthy, safe boundaries. Maybe she left food and water out for it. Maybe she cared for it when it was sick. And little by little, this bond formed. And now she has this great big protector. And as I'm saying that, my protector's coming up and saying hello. My Maxie. He's a big doggy. And so the strength card here can be like we're forming alliances, protectors, people who are going to defend us, people who are going to protect us, and it could be a very loyal, committed partner even for some of you. But this is somebody that we're going to bond with, and we're going to create this bond or this alliance by just understanding basic needs. Right? We complicate things. We make it so difficult. But at the end of the day, we all kind of want the same things. We all have, the same needs for our, being cared for. And so sometimes we overcomplicate these things. And sometimes a little bit of gentleness, a little bit of care, a little bit of hospitality can go a really long way in forming bonds and forming connections with people and, feeling close to them. It doesn't have to be so much through like analyzing things, difficult conversations. It could be simply through sharing a meal or, helping somebody in simple ways, and we can kind of create bonds and get to know people and connect with people in that way as well. Gentleness is strength, right? The strength card reminds us of that. There's strength in gentleness. There's strength in kindness. It doesn't have to be going in and throwing your weight around and challenging people and proving that, how smart you are, proving how capable you are. It could just be through this compassion and this connection that we form these alliances. You may want to check out your moon sign and rising sign. Some weeks your moon sign and rising sign might resonate more than your sun sign, you may need a private reading. And so there's a link in the description of this video that will take you to calendly.com/amethystangelite. You can schedule a private reading with me there. Love of readings for the month of June are linked in the description. And don't forget, every single day I do a daily message on the channel. Please check those out if you feel so inclined. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing. I hope you all have a fabulous week ahead. Take care and be well, my dears.